So what do we mean by health? There's a few components to this, and obviously there's a huge degree of overlap. It's like, I know there's this whole like dissociative thinking in terms of like the mind is separate to the body, and different organs, we think of them in isolation and whatever else, but ultimately like you're one entity. It's all the same. But when we're talking about health, generally what we're talking about is physical health, right? And again, we're going to expand on this in a future episode, so don't take this as the be all and end all. Then we're also talking about mental health. Like, again, you could be in tip top physical health, you could be in the best body composition, loads of muscle mass, look fantastic, and also all your biomarkers are in a fantastic place, blood lipids, blah blah blah, but your mental health is in a terrible position because you have no friends now, you have no friends, family, all that kind of stuff, and you're a hermit, you just eat out of Tupperware, and you're not enjoying life, right? That could be the case. It could also just be the case that there is some sort of chemical imbalance within your brain that it's genetic, it's fucking whatever, right? But we want to get mental health in a good place as well. And that's very relevant, especially the stuff that we do in terms of coaching, because it's very easy to go down a path of disordered eating and, we'll call them pathological behaviors, when you try to engage in improving your health and body composition especially, right? But anyway, mental health. And then what I've termed, and it's often termed as like psychosocial health, and obviously mental health falls within that kind of psychosocial health. But what I really mean by this is the kind of other determinants of health, your general lifestyle, the area you live in, the community that you engage in, spirituality, the people you talk to, all of those other things. And again, there is obviously that overlap with mental health, but there's also a relatively clear dissociation between mental health and we'll call it psychosocial health as well. Now obviously, again, they're all integrated. There's no actual separating of them. But you've anything to say on that health stuff, Gary?
Yeah, look, I think that we've definitely discussed this quite a bit in the past, the importance of considering some of those, I guess, softer elements of health and what might contribute to your health, because it is very easy to just say, right, I want to get healthier, so I'm going to eat better and I'm going to exercise, and yeah, that's about it. But in reality, there's many other contributors to our health that we often kind of just push to the wayside, because to be fair, it's a lot easier, at least in theory, when you're planning it out, to say, I'm going to eat more vegetables, I'm going to eat leaner meats, I'm going to eat plenty of fruit, etc., than it is to say, okay, I've got a number of relationships that are, quite strained in my life. I'm not seeing, friends very much. Those things are, beating me up a little bit mentally every now and then, making me feel a bit anxious, making me feel a bit down, a bit lonely. It's quite difficult to take those steps because it involves bringing other people into your goals. It involves, a specific time commitment that you have to go and meet people, and there might be uncomfortable conversations, etc. But those things absolutely contribute to your health long term. So you should consider them as part of your goals, because they're worthwhile for your sake, short term, in terms of, making you feel better. If you've got better relationships, if you've got, you're spending more time doing things that you enjoy that aren't necessarily productive, but also long term, that you're, nourishing your social support network for when you might need it, because you never know when that might be. So it's both insurance for the future and allowing you to enjoy your life in the present. So I think that those things should be, dragged out of the abstract to some degree and made concrete in your goals, just like a weight loss goal would be,
And it does very much come back to that initial prioritization list. Again, you might really prioritize your friendships, your family, whatever. So if we're going to do something that directly goes against those, perhaps in terms of, like, again, what often happens in the fitness world when people are, searching for body composition improvements, they're like, I'm going to cut out all social events. I'm not going to go drinking with my friends. I'm not going to go to barbecues with my friends, parties, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they're just really isolated, and they're not necessarily happier as a result of that, even though you might look at a blood panel and go, yeah, you lowered your LDL by fucking 1, it's fantastic, but that individual is actually just really unhappy with their life as a result. So we need to look into that stuff. And again, we'll cover this stuff in a future episode a little bit more in depth and lay out some frameworks with that, right?